I'd spent most of my day, since waking up earlier this morning, with my dormmates as rewards for having done my first mission. 2 of them were rangers, while the other was a sniper. Just like me. The ranger who slept underneath me had the call sign Vandal, while the ranger sleeping opposite was called Samurai, and the sniper called Deadbolt. They'd all been here before I arrived. I know that Vandal and Deadbolt had been on many missions together, employing the strategy I had mentioned before of a concealed ranger scouting up ahead to give the sniper a target. They were all fairly close to each other, regardless, and spent most of their time aboard the Avenger together. But not so much with me. I think I replaced somebody also close to them, so they were always a little cold to me, but they were warming up slowly. Today had largely consisted of going to the gym, going down to the Soldier's Rec Room, which consisted of a few scrappy pool tables, the wood tarnished and green felt scuffed, but usable, a TV with a DVD player, and a few other items to entertain others in their downtime. But for the last hour, after quizzing me about my missions and congratulating me on getting 3 kills in my first mission, they began recounting their favourite stories from their previous missions. "My best one by far has got to be with you, Vandal," Deadbolt announced, breaking into his story. "We were going to defend the transmitter, and you immediately raced out towards the transmitter, getting there so quickly. I was just stood back on top of the building, and you kept calling out those targets for me to pick off, while the other 2 defended my position rather than yours. They never got anywhere near that transmitter. And you never missed a shot." Vandal grinned back before teasing him. "Shame you don't do that on every mission." "Hey, I hit more than you," he retorted, folding his arms. "Actually, I believe that this is our dear Zero with the highest accuracy percentile now. With 80%, if he was indeed telling the truth of his mission," Samurai chimed in. "Shotguns tend to be a little harder to hit with anyway." "Speak for yourself. I use a rifle and my aim is good. I'm just not asked to attack so much," Vandal chuckled. "The number of times I've had the flank on target but not engaged is just too damn high." I couldn't help but smile as they bantered amongst each other, arguing about who had the coolest kill, who had the quickest mission, who had the highest kill count, and so on. I'd have loved to watch them argue all day, but I had scheduled to go to the GTS in order to receive my training, and so headed over to do so. On my way over, I passed by the command centre, looking at the large holographic globe there. There was a red dot on the map where they were looking and pointing at on the east coast of America. And after a few nods from the crew within the room, I felt the entire ship shudder as it took off again. I suppose at least this time I knew where we were going. For 3 hours I was practicing in the GTS with the help of another sniper on the roster, who was giving me tips on how to hold the rifle, how to regulate my breathing properly, but largely going over the important parts of going on long Overwatch. I suppose in my last mission I had to make 2 of these kinds of shots, missing the one on the sectoid. He said that with my amount of training, the shot I hit should have been very low percentile, which I wasn't sure whether he was complimenting my ability to aim as a moving target prior to training, or whether he was calling it just lucky. Regardless, I came out of the session having learned a lot about this new ability, and left for the cafeteria seeing my dorm mates already sat down, so after grabbing my food, I joined them, to hear them talking about why they joined XCOM. "Well, my dad was in the initial XCOM project, from what I heard. He gave them hell," Vandal chirped, his right leg resting on top of his left, as he sat down. "I suppose that's why I joined when I had the first opportunity." "That's kinda cool. My dad was only part of the resistance. I grew up near the west coast with them. I always wanted to join up here," Deadbolt added on his section, earning a respectful nod from Vandal. "I can respect that a whole lot. I know some people just join to get a chance to shoot or slice up some aliens," he says, glancing over the Samurai, punching him on the arm playfully. "What about you, Zero? Why'd you join?" Deadbolt asked, leaning over on the table to interrupt the 2 rangers. "Me? I glanced around at the 3 of them, looking inquisitively at me as I hesitated. "I've got a number of reasons, I guess," I shrugged. By their expressions, I could tell they were going to make me list a few. "Okay, so I came across a footage of a resistance camp being taken out by Advent's troops. I was shown it by a friend who I think had ties with the Resistance. Anyway, the footage showed XCOM flying down, neutralising the attackers, protecting the citizens. I was just enamoured by it. The cause to protect humans. I'd always been told that they were a cause to disrupt the peace between us and the Elders, so seeing this, I thought it was pretty cool. It changed my opinion about XCOM, certainly. But my friends who showed me the footage went missing the next day, and they somehow figured out that she had shown me. But I also managed to find out that they were hunting for me in time, so I could escape the city out of fear for my life. I'd heard of people going missing, but I thought it was just lies perpetuated by the terrorists, as they called XCOM. I didn't really have anywhere to go, so I tried to find the Resistance cell on the east coast of America, where I finally came across documents describing the invasion from 20 years ago. Or Ascension, as Advent would have put it. Any other files I had read on it were directly made by Advent administration. The more I looked at the other media, the more I realised how brainwashed everyone had been. How well Advent was at pulling the wool over the entire population's eyes. It wasn't long before I wanted to make a difference, and not just be a sitting duck. I wanted to be someone who jumped down to rescue those from Advent and reclaim what was ours. I smiled inwardly as I watched the others dryly look at me. That's quite boring, Samurai stated almost immediately as Vandal chuckled. Yes, but it's a decent reason, mate. Still boring. He winked at me, after defending me, earning a laugh from both Deadbolt and Samurai. I rolled my eyes at them as I finished my food, which consisted today of some rather tasteless pasta, with a minute amount of cheese to go with it. The one thing I didn't envy was their food supplies. It was rare to get a decent meal on board the Avenger. What I'd give for another Advent burger, or just a normal meal for that matter. 0. Brick, Goblin, Alphabet, report to the briefing room. A message came over the intercom in the cafeteria, with a bit of static accompanying it. I saw Brick stand up from the opposite side of the hall, her eyes immediately grasping mine, but before I saw a big, infectious smile split across her face immediately. Guess I'm off again. Wish me luck. Break a leg, 0. Deadbolt commented, as Samurai checked in afterwards. Literally. I scoffed as I picked up my empty tray, placing it in a large pile at the exit of the hall before catching up to Brick on the way down.